Welcome to Memoirs of a Mortician, and make sure you subscribe to the page if you're interested in my journey as a mortician. I have some interesting stories to share. Um, I have over 10 years worth of experience and knowledge. So pull up a chair, get you some coffee, cigar, cigarette, and let's do this. I want to start off with the guy who gave me my first shot in 2010. I went and knocked on every door in Washington, D.C. I was determined to be a mortician. My determination started as a child, but when I was in federal prison, I started taking it serious. I said, when I get out, I'm going to get into the mortuary business. No one believed me. I'm sitting in the day room. Everyone is watching BET, MTV, sports. I'm reading mortuary books. I'm ordering them off the little site in prison. And I put it into motion when I came home. I knew everything that I needed to know to hit the ground running when I came home. I knew I was coming to Washington, D.C. And I knocked on, and it was 53 funeral homes at the time in Washington, D.C. And I knocked on maybe over 20 doors. I called every last one. And I got to Universal Mortuary. I talked to Paul Mateen, and he told me to come on through. Oh, let me get this straight. I think did I talk to him or did I talk to his daughter, Casey? I th- I may have talked to Casey. Let me take that back. And she told me I asked her, was there any position open for internship? I'm in school. And she said, oh, we can come in and we'll talk about it. Very nice. I came in and met with her. She asked me some questions. I met her father. And and they let me see my first dead body in the funeral home. I asked, could I see? They said, my father is here. He's working on someone. And she gave me a tour of the place. And she said, this is the prep room. We have someone in there right now. I said, can I see? And she asked her father, can he see it? And Paul Mateen said, yeah, go ahead. And it was a woman laying on the table, had braids. And she explained to me that we buried her mother a couple of months prior. So this is the black man, Paul Al Mateen, from Goochland, Virginia, who gave me my shot in the funeral business. Virginia guy. DC is full of Virginia guys. We all migrated from Virginia to come up here and get our lives together. A better life than what we would have had in rural Virginia, Southern Virginia. This man came to Washington, D.C. as a young man. We had it's Let me start by saying the Creator put you in position with people who can inspire you in life, who can show you things, who can inspire you to be better. And I've seen all this through this man. We are similar for things that I'll explain later in the video, but we both came from the same grind, same upbringings, rural Virginia, worked hard, and we came to the city to have a better life. This man came to the city and I worked for the medical examiner's office, retired from the medical examiner's office, went into business for itself. And it'll be several videos that I'll be giving this man his flowers. He's still alive, and we're still working together till this day. He's like a father to me. But I'm gonna go jump back to my journey. I came back to the funeral home, met with Casey again. She wasn't in yet. He came to the back door because I rung the doorbell and no answer. I went to the back and he came to the door. I handed him my resume. He had his robe on. He was still in bed, and he looked at my credentials and asked me a few questions. I'm in school. I said yes. I go to UDC. He asked me did I know Melanie, which is a family member of theirs who's in school. I said no, I haven't met her yet. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, she nice, she fat. I just was like, saying to myself, okay. And he said, come on back. Uh, Another time I came back, he gave me a day and a time to come back, and I showed up. He said, and he was in the middle of doing a funeral. He stepped outside. He said, I got it, but why don't you come back tomorrow? He thought about it for a minute, like he was gonna give me my shot. He said, come back tomorrow with your shirt and towel. And man, I shook his hand and said thank you, and I walked off. Man, I was so happy. I hit the ground running, and I have to get back to that hunger and that determination because I was at my best then. Nothing could stop me. I got everything done that I needed to do to be great. And what knocked me off that square was a few bad relationships with women, man. So I'm still trying to pick up the pieces in my life and get back to that hunger and determination. I still have the work ethic that never went anywhere. But as far as taking care of my business, being disciplined, it knocked me off. But this is a black man who started his family. His daughter Casey is the office manager, and he has two other sons who's in the funeral business also with him, help him out, and who's gonna have to take over the business. But he got like me in prison. I got into Islam. This is another bond that we built through Islam. He's a Muslim who started off in the Nation of Islam. I found Islam in prison, and from the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and Louis Farrakhan. And we will have conversations about the history of the black man and the teachings, how to eat to live. This is how we bonded through Islam and through knowledge of self. And he lived the teachings. Do for self. Go out here and get it on your own. Don't beg no one to do anything for you. This is how I grew up watching Mr. Tucker, the first funeral director, first business owner. I saw a black man doing that. And years later in life, I went to a black man to get into the business. A black man gave me my shot. So I started off working with him, doing funerals. I didn't even have a suit. I had shirt, tie, black slacks, black shoes, white shirt, black tie, and he used to let me wear an overcoat, a black overcoat. And he helped me put my life together. This man made it an easy transition for me. When I came home from federal prison, I was enrolled in school. I was interning at a funeral home now, getting the knowledge. getting the experience, going on funerals, helping him work on bodies, dressing bodies. I mean, he taught me how to prep the body to embalm. He showed me how to embalm. He showed me how to wrap a Islamic body at a ghusl. This man taught me everything. Things that I'll never forget. It's conversations I'll never forget. The Creator placed me with him to learn everything that he has to teach. This was 2010. I would do removals, go to nursing homes, going on funerals, delivering flowers. Casey had a flower delivery business at the time. So we used to deliver flowers for Teleflora. We go in his van. And I got my life together. I came out with nothing. I had this man. I started off making 150 a week. It doesn't sound like much right now, but to a man coming home with nothing, it was a lot. Then it went up to 200. Then Casey said, "You doing good work? I'm gonna start giving you 250 a week." 250 a week was great for me. It helped me get my life together. I was able to do things for my son. I was able to get my driver's license because when I first came home, I didn't have my driver's license. I had to pay off like $6,600 in fines, court costs to get my driver's license. And I ended up getting on a payment plan and I paid it off and I got my license. My life was just going great. Everything was working. I'm making some money. I'm getting my life together. I'm building my credit. And this brother helped me. So I'm a mortician right now because of Paul Al-Mateen. And I'll never forget the teachings, the lessons, the knowledge that he passed down to me. This man is 86 years old and he's still working hard every day. He leaves dialysis Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and do funerals, and pick up bodies. Of course, he has me and his sons to help him, but sometimes we're not available because we all have other jobs. But I was in good with the family, and I showed up every day. I done everything from in the beginning. I had to do a lot of janitorial work because he told me, "Hey, you got to get your driver's license, man. You're not much good to me without your driver's license. I need you to drive the hearse and do pickups and removals for me." So I ended up getting my learners. So after getting my learners, I was able to get a lot done then. I had my learners for a while, and then I paid off my license, and then I got my driver's license. But I was on a payment plan. I got my license before I paid them all off because I was on a payment plan. I think I was paying like $100 a week from, and then when I got my first tax check, I just went and paid the remaining balance off, which was maybe $3 grand. I had a couple of kids to file. I think I filed a girl's kids at the building who I was dealing with at the time, who was cool with me, Vanessa. So my life was good. I was disciplined. I built myself up. I went to, with that tax check, I went and bought 2 suits, which I still have. I went to Macy's. They had a sale going on. No, I didn't take my tax check. I got my refund check, 3,200 from school. So I went and got me two suits. I went and got a black suit and a gray suit, a Calvin Klein suit and a Ralph Lauren suit. Macy's had a sale, a nice sale. They had you get a percentage off plus another percentage off if you put it on pre-sale. Pre-sale meaning they hold it for a couple of days and you come back and pick it up. So I ended up spending over $800. I got two suits, a couple of dress shirts, a couple of ties, and man, I was growing in the business. I was looking sharp, and I done everything in that building from painting, yard work, cleaning, toilets, vacuuming floors, things that I do now. That's like normal to me because me being in that building, I just know what to do. I shovel snow. I came from I grew up in this hard work. To get what you want, you have to work hard. And my ethic made him take a liking to me because he can depend on me to get the work done. I never had an attitude. I did the work. It's hard to find someone like that with that type of determination. I don't think no one came in his door since then with my determination. But I learned a lot in the funeral business. This was my introduction. And I'm thankful for this man who's still alive, who's 86 years old, still moving and shaking, can still drive. But I'm here to help him out, do driving. He has problems seeing at times, but he's still here. He's still moving and shaking. He outlived all of his friends. So I'm thankful of this man. He gave me my first opportunity. We're still working as we speak. And I'm thankful for him. And I'm thankful that the Creator blessed me with him. I can remember him marking the bodies where to cut so he can do the embalmings. My first time, he just took a permanent marker and said, "Hey, make the incision right here." And I was nervous. Then he seen me attempted to make it. He said, "Oh, you left-handed." So I had to go on the other side of the table. And his daughter is left-handed too, and his wife left-handed. So I had to go on the other side of the table and work. And I raised the artery. He told me dig down in there. Gave me the aneurysm hooks. After I made this incision, I did a good job. Not to cut too deep and not to cut the artery or the vein. Hey, that's what he said. Be careful. Don't cut that artery because I had to dig all the way down and find it. And don't cut that vein either because we need it. So I cut the skin, used the aneurysm hooks to pull the tissue, and I ended up raising the artery. And I was proud of myself. And no body is the same. It was easy to raise the artery in that body. Some bodies it's you gotta dig for a long time to find it because it's not where you think it is, and you might can mistake a vein or tendon for an artery. But you know what the artery looks like, it feels like, but every body is positioned different. It's in the same area, but you might have fat, more tissue, and stuff in the way that you have to dig through. Uh, it's a great experience for me. I learned fast, and my life grew and progressed. I have a long journey of over 10 years, and I have more stories from other funeral homes that I worked at And throughout my mortician and the death journey, I have hundreds of stories. And this is why I created this channel, to share some of these stories with you. The Cadillac that he used as his lead car, it was a 2004 Cadillac. I ended up buying that car years later from him. And that was interesting to add to the story. I ended up buying the lead car and keeping it for like a year or two before I ended up junking it. But the car that I started off in driving, going to file paperwork, the car he led funerals in while I drove the hearse. Yeah, I have an interesting journey with Universal Mortuary. I seen the process of how Casey's job. She speak to families, she do funeral planning, printing the obituaries. I mean, she's knowledgeable in a wide range of the funeral business, but she does the administrative work. But she also uh, directs the Muslim women services and do the ghusl for the Muslim women. His son Paul Julia, he's knowledgeable. He embalms. He knows the funeral business. He's been in it since he was a kid. And his son Daryl, he's in the business. He does basically what I do: funerals, pickups, removals, and he helps wrap the bodies and also everything also. So we're all a team. But when I first started, Daryl wasn't around then. I didn't meet Daryl until I got close to the family. So I saw Daryl at his mother's house. That's when I first met Daryl. But now he's around every day, and we're close. Me and Daryl are the closest out of all of Paul Mateen's children, because we took a similar path in life. We ran the streets. We got into some trouble when we were young, but we overcame that, and we're doing the right thing now. We both are. But Universal Mortuary, going on these funerals. I saw my first homicide cases, sewing up bullet holes. He showed me how to sew up a bullet hole so it wouldn't leak. Going on these funerals back in the early days in the 2010, 2011, 2012, when cell phones weren't that good. And these guys, these wild funerals where guys were hanging out the windows, recording. Funeral procession seemed like it was a mile long. Guys getting rowdy at the funeral, these hood funerals where they were murdered, where guys were murdered. And I had to have Paul's back so these guys wouldn't, because they would break bad with him and try to do what they want to do on these services sometime. So I had to have his back. And I knew how to deal with street guys from doing time in prison. And I met a lot of guys on these funerals that I done prison time with. I will see them at these funerals. None of them remember me off at first glance. I had to tell them, hey, we was at Beckley together. He was like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I said to myself, damn, I see why a lot of you guys be getting killed, because y'all could have done something to somebody and don't even remember them. If I would have done something to somebody, that's something that I possess. I can remember a face. But a lot of people don't. But I can remember starting when I was freshly interning. I used to go do administrative work too. So I done a little bit of everything. I kind of helped Casey out. I used to organize all the receipts and and file them for Casey so they can do their taxes, like the gas receipts and things. I used to label them in the folders and staple them together. I've done a lot. But the administrative work isn't my thing. I like to get my hands dirty. I like to be in the field doing removals. I've done a lot of Islamic funerals with Paul Mantine, which had me hands on and close to the Islamic community, like Iranians, Afghanistan, uh, people from all over. And I can remember the Iranians used to give the best tips on the funerals. They used to walk around with envelopes, giving you $50, $100. And this is different people. I done walked away from these services with like $500 sometimes. But we have a journey. Me and Paul Matine, he don't like to take pictures, so I used to always sneak pictures. So you see him looking away. He will never let me take a picture. He's old school. But when we're together, I do the driving for him. I take him around, and I started off riding shotgun with him driving because, of course, I didn't have any driver's license. Now he gets to ride shotgun, and I do the driving. This man taught me so much. He's like a father to me, and I know the time is coming where I'm gonna get that call where he passed. This is why I try to appreciate him every day and being around him. Every time he called me, I'd be available because I want to spend as much time with him. Because I don't know, I don't think he don't have much time left. He's 86 years old. I can get that call in any day. Even though he's not bedridden, he's moving around, but you prepare yourself for that call that you don't want. But I spend as much time with him as I can in his final years because I appreciate him and I care about him and I love him. Don't want him to go, but the cycle of life doesn't stop for anyone. I've watched the business grow, but he likes to keep it plain Jane. He doesn't like the flashy stuff, and that's how I am also. I don't want to be seen on the funerals. I don't want to be known. I don't want to be popular. The funeral business is a small world. Everyone knows everyone, but I'm not in the circle. Don't go to the functions. I don't want to be the peacock on the farm. I'm okay with being the dove. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be known. I don't want everybody. Some people like that. The funeral business is full of guys like that. But I'm like Paul Martine. I play the shadows. I do my work and I go. I don't want to come to the mortuary events that they have every year to network with people. I'm not with that. I never been to any of the parties. Not that Paul instilled that in me. That's just who I was anyway. And to see Paul move like that, I mean, we were like just two and the same. So yeah, he had a funeral home in Richmond, Virginia, and he told me that he ended up letting that one go because he was supporting that funeral home in Richmond off of the funeral home in DC because nobody was coming to him in Richmond. He explained that no one was spending any money with him. So he ended up letting it go and focusing on the funeral home in DC. But I'm giving this man his flowers. I have, this is just an introduction of me letting you guys know who brought me in. It's going to be more stories. I'm not going to put it all in one video because the video will be 3 hours long. And throughout making these videos, I will take notes of things I remember and share them with you guys. But I have a long journey, very long journey. So many stories. So like, share, and subscribe to my page so it can grow, and that'll motivate me to put together more great videos for you guys. But show me that you're interested and that you like what I'm doing. Subscribe to the page to show me your appreciation. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm doing this out of the pure love. And as the more I grow, I can give you better videos. And if it get to a point where I start receiving donations, I can bring some help in to bring better quality videos. But you have to start from somewhere. I'm in square one. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Memoirs of a Mortician. Thank you.